What were your thoughts on the call-ups to Dempsey and Morris?
Yeah, it's exciting. They're big pressure games, really important for the U.S. to get results. We're always proud of our guys when they get called into the national team, and Honduras and Panama are going to be big tests for them. So we hope they do well. They're representing themselves, their families, our country, and our club also.
Does it concern you any that Dempsey, with everything that he's been through, is going to go play for the U.S. national team for X amount of minutes?
No, I am excited. Clint's a seasoned pro. Sorry. He's a seasoned pro, and I think a big game like that, as Bruce said in his interview, you want to have Clint Dempsey in a game that matters for the U.S. and you need to get a result.
When you're scouting other talents, you're going to lose 3 other players to the national team. How much does other national team service influence who you get? Like, do you try to add in layers of players who aren't serving their national team so you don't have to deal with their absences?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we look at that when you have a player who's not in his national team, but you hope that he comes here and he becomes a national team player. So some of that's out of our control, but I think you get a guy who has that experience of playing for his country. That is invaluable in a league game that means a lot. So, I think we've been a club that's had a lot of national team players since we came in '09, and players representing their country. So, I think it's great for the club. It's good exposure for our club, and to have players who've played at the top level.
When you talk about lifting guys into the national team, it's kind of Christian rolled on the next guy on this roster that you expect to go from doing well in the league to get that call?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of young players here that I'd hope would have a pathway to get there. I think Christian has come on so strong in a pretty short period of time, and he keeps improving. And as an American, I'd love to see him with the American team. I know he's eligible for 2 other countries, so for me, I'd prefer him to play for the U.S. as a former player.
On that same note, is it risky to hold off and wait for the U.S., or is it better than just to go and play for Guatemala or El Salvador?
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a question for Christian, but for me as a former American player, I always like to see good young players come through and play for our country.
With Roman Torres, there's potential for Tony Alfaro to see some minutes this weekend. How are you? What's your opinion on his progress so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's a question for the coaching staff and Brian who's gonna play. I think Tony, we have a bunch of good young defenders and choices for those spots. So that has been a great progression for our club, having depth. Tony, I think, is a guy he made great strides last year. I think his feet are good, his vision's good, he competes every day, and I think just training here and the environment he's in, you can see improvement. So we're happy when players continue to progress.
He's from a Division II school. What was it that kind of drew you guys to him and scouted there? Even it's kind of a location or school that maybe you don't see a lot of guys jump to pro from.
Yeah, I mean, there's credit to Kurt Schmidt, who he kind of leads our college scouting, and he had seen him several times live. So I think, those little details and putting in the work and finding those types of players, it's a credit to him. And I think we all went to the combine on Kurt's recommendation and watched him, and he had a good combine. So, I think you look at the body of work and then how he does in a weekend of games with the top players in college, and he competed well.
Chris, are you aware if the team will appeal or anything like that, or just let it ride and have Tony give it a shot?
I'm sorry.
Do you know if the team wants to appeal that suspension, the sanction, the MLS?
Yeah, I think we're looking at it's already done. So I think we're looking at other options to play in his spot for this week.
You have options with the roster. There's somewhere between 3 and 6, 7 maybe spots that you guys can open. There are two months or so left in the transfer window. Do you foresee any activity? Are you actively looking for more talent to bring in, or is this pretty much the roster till July?
Yeah, I mean, before I talk about it, we are very happy with our group right now. I think we have a really good group, strong team all the way through. We are looking. We have several trips organized in the next 2 months. So we're going to be very active looking. It's nice when we have a team, I think, that is coming together and working its way into the season, and we're happy with that, but we always want to add some pieces, and we should have some answers, whether it'll be in this window or in the summer transfer window. We'll see.
Are there any particular positions of need, either in the back or in attack?
Yeah, I would say we're looking at 3 or 4 different positions. So it's pretty balanced throughout the team. But some of it are depth. Some of them are depth positions, and some of them we're looking at starting positions.
How much of a balance goes into determining whether someone's a right fit from a technical standpoint as a player, and whether someone's a right fit from a personality standpoint when you're examining prospective players?
Yeah, I mean, I think we put all of that into it, and I think we want to look for a certain type of player who will come to our club, certain characters and characteristics, and Brian's pretty open, and we communicate daily on, myself and Kurt and Garth and the other coaches are in these meetings where we talk about the targets we want, the type of players he likes, because it's new. This is his first year as a full head coach, and you want to get a player and bring him in who Brian is going to like and really likes his characteristics. So, obviously we want to bring in the best technical and tactical players we can, who will fit in our system and they'll fit in the positions we have. But we've defined our positions all the way through, and there's characteristics as a club that we have for every position. So we try and check off as many of those boxes as we can.